This tutorial will show you how to export a model from the game Koikatsu. This is what I'll be going over. If you want to skip to a certain chapter, here's the timestamps. The first thing you need to do is make sure that your game can load plugins. The easiest way to do this is by installing the HF patch. This will automatically set everything up so you can load mods, plugins, whatever. If your game is a pre-modded repack, like the beta repack, you're probably missing the Character Maker Pose zip mod. You can install the mod manually, or you can click the update button in the game launcher. If both of those don't work for whatever reason, you can always install the HF patch over the beta repack, and it should work after that. Now that you've got that set up, let's grab the exporter from this website. Scroll down, click download, and you want the exporter zip file. There's two different exporters inside of the zip file. I'm using regular Koikatsu, so I'm going to use this version of the exporter. If you're using Sunshine, then you would use the other version of the exporter. Take this folder and copy it, and then go to your game folder and paste it in. Next, you want to start the game and open the Character Maker. The exporter GUI is hidden by default. In order to enable it, you have to check this box on the bottom right. The exporter has some optional features. Let's go through some of these. Normally, the exporter will only export the currently selected outfit. If you wanted to export all of this card's outfits, check this box. The exporter usually resets the character to a T-pose and also resets its expression. If you want to keep the pose or keep the facial expression, check these boxes. Some pieces of clothes have different variations. If you want to export the clothing variations, check this box. And finally, there is a bulk export option. I'll go over this feature at the end of the video. I'm going to leave everything unchecked and click the export button. Depending on how good your computer is, this can take a few minutes. When it's finished, a window will pop up with your model and all of the supporting files. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to copy this folder to my downloads folder for easy access. So now we're going to import the model into Blender. I'll be using the latest version at the moment, which is Blender 5.0. To import the model, you need to install the MMD Tools add-on from the Blender Extensions website. Click this button and drag it into Blender to install it. Now let's get the KKBP importer add-on. Click download and get the importer zip this time. Then you can drag the zip file into Blender. Once you install it, you'll see it as a panel in the 3D view. This one also has a few options. The one you probably care about the most is this one. If you leave it on the Rigify option, you'll get an advanced armature that works really well inside of Blender, but you won't be able to use the built-in export features. If you change it to the FK option, you'll get a basic armature that doesn't work too well, but you will be able to use the export features. I'll show you the differences at this timestamp. The second option is, of course, the shader. You can use a shader specifically made for Eevee, cycles, or if you really want a basic shader, you can use the principled BSDF shader, and that should work in both render engines. I'm going to leave everything as the default options. Click the Import Model button and choose the .pmx file from your export folder. If you're using Windows, the console will appear while it's importing. Once it's done importing, you'll get the character, and all this stuff gets put into a character collection. Right now, I'm in solid view, so if you want to see how it really looks, you can switch to the material preview. Now that the model is in Blender, Let's take a quick look at what kind of features you get out of the box. The default view is the solid view. If you want to see the light colors on the model, you can switch to material preview. The model also comes with dark colors. If you want to see those, you can click on rendered view. If you selected the Rigify armature, then you'll get an armature like this. It has basic features like an eye controller, bones for the hair, bones for accessories, and a center bone that lets you move everything around at once. It's also got a ton of advanced features like IK to FK snapping, tweak bones, and joint correction drivers. All of the bones are categorized into different rig layers. You can also access the rig layers in the Bone Collections tab. Also, if you're using a Rigify armature, you can rip animations from the game and retarget them onto your character. If you want to know how to do this, check the video description. If you selected the FK armature, then you'll get a bare bones armature. This armature only has FK bones. You can still enable and disable certain bone groups in the Bone Collections tab. There's also shape keys for a bunch of different expressions, including gag eyes, tears, and every other expression found in the game. If you exported all 8 outfits, you'll be able to toggle the outfit collections in the outliner. And finally, there's the outline modifier. If you want to turn it off, it's in the modifiers tab. Let's get into the materials. Just as a reminder, you can see what the model looks like by clicking the material preview button up here. This is the material list. You can either select the materials in this list, or you can go into edit mode, make sure face select is on, and then any material you click will update the selected material on this list. The only toggle you get is the force visibility toggle. I'll show an example with this piece of clothing. Some clothing items have this thing called an alpha mask. The alpha mask hides certain parts of the clothing to prevent it from clipping through other pieces of clothing. As you can see, some parts of this shirt are invisible. Now, these parts are supposed to be invisible, but if you wanted it to show up anyway, you can do that with this slider. There's also a button that lets you edit materials. Click this, open up the colors section, and you'll see a bunch of different sliders you can change. Stuff like the detail intensity, the saturation, and if you enable this slider on the bottom, you can even change the colors of the clothing, just like how it's done in the game. It doesn't work for every material, but it is a pretty awesome feature when it does work. When you're done editing a material, you can either save the changes or cancel the changes. This model can be saved as an FBX file. There's a ton of programs that can use FBX files like Unity, Unreal Engine, and a bunch more. So if you don't want to use the model inside of Blender, you can still use this plugin as a sort of converter between Koikatsu and whatever program you want to use. You can export your model by using this Prep for Target Application button. The first thing you need to do is make sure you imported with the FK armature. If you didn't import with the FK armature, this button will be grayed out. And by the way, if you're always going to be importing with the FK armature, you can open your preferences, then just turn it off here, and then save your preferences. So anyway, the left menu controls how simple the armature will be. The slow option will reduce the armature to around 100 bones. The right menu controls the target application. If you're exporting to Unity or Unreal Engine, you can set it to one of these options. But if you're exporting it to any other program, you'll probably want to keep it on the Unity VRM option, or if you don't want anything edited or anything deleted, then you can use the generic option. This bottom menu will combine all your materials into a single PNG file. also known as a material atlas. If you don't want that, you can turn it off. This can take anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour, depending on the options that you chose and the model that you're using, so give it a lot of time. If you're using Windows, the console will pop up and give you progress as it's doing everything. If you kept the Atlas option enabled, there should be a new collection in the outliner. Go ahead and hide the original collection, then show this new Atlas collection. This is the collection that has the Atlas in it, so this is the one that you want to export. Just keep in mind that everything in this collection will be exported, so you want to remove the stuff that you're not going to use. I am personally not going to use the Tears collection or this Rigged Tongue collection, so I'm just going to delete that. When you're ready to export the model, select the collection in the outliner and click the Export All button. The FBX file and the Atlas files will be saved to the folder specified in this box. So let's open that up, and there it is. The rest of these files are the Atlas files that will get applied to your model when you import the FBX file into a different program. If you want an example, I've got a link in the description. Also, if you want to export to a format other than FBX, there's more formats in this menu. Choose the one you want and set up your export options here. Bulk exporting is really easy. Just check this box and select the folder that you want to bulk export. Keep in mind that subfolders are not exported. These are stored in the Export PMX folder. In my experience, it takes about an hour to export 50 cards. So 1 minute per card. Bulk importing is just as easy. Open the Extras section of the panel and click the Bulk Importer button. Choose the folder that contains all of your bulk exports. I just left everything in the Export PMX folder, so I'm going to choose this folder. What it does is it imports the character, and then it saves a .blend file for that character. So each character will be saved to the same folder that you specified earlier. In my case, that's the Export PMX folder.